have Dr. Mrs. T. A. Kadarbai to chair the session. I'm sorry. Ma'am, please. Kadarbai has done Bachelor's in Veterinary Sciences and Animal Husbandry. She has worked as a Chief Training Organizer at the Farmers Training Center for more than 11 years. She has won National Merit Scholarships during the entire collegiate education. She was awarded as the Best Scientist Award by the Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations for the Asia Pacific region for the year 2004-2005. She is working as a member of the Board of Management on Indian Veterinary Research Institute. She is also working as a member on Central Advisory Committee for Small Ruminants for Government of India. She is also advising on ICT and Mass Media subgroup as a member of Planning Commission for the 11th Plan. I would also like to call upon the speakers for the session. Mr. Premanand. A round of applause for him, please. Mr. P. Krishna Reddy. And Dr. Nilay Ranjan. I would now like to hand over the session to Dr. Kadarbai.
Good morning. It's nice to be with all of you today. As we all know, the first session of the day is ICT interventions in agriculture, and we have three speakers with us. One from Dhan Foundation, Mr. Premanand, who will be talking about the innovative and low-cost and sustainable ICT solutions, his own experiences in Dhan Foundation. Thereafter, we have the much known and heard the e-Sagu experience of IIT Hyderabad by Mr. P. Krishna Reddy. And then we have with us Dr. Nilay Ranjan for ICT as enabler of socio-economic development solutions through information. The session is expected to go up to 10:45, so we have around 1 hour for 4 presentations. So we should begin with the first presentation. So as we all know, the ICT interventions in agriculture is the one that we are going to discuss today. In fact, since morning there was a film that was being played by the CDAC group, which talked of the several difficulties the rural India is facing about the connectivity, the roads, electricity, education, and several other things. In fact, agriculture is one such enterprise which all of you must be aware that is at the mercy of several things. May it be market, may it be monsoon, may it be the pests and the diseases, several things. So, while talking about the ICT interventions in agriculture, all these aspects need to be kept in our mind, that it is one of the most, extremely diverse, several crops, several fruit crops, several oilseeds and pulses, extremely diverse and risk-prone enterprise. And therefore, while customizing the information to be delivered to the user, the farmer, becomes very difficult. Every farmer is different from the other, from the neighbor, from the same village. He has different resources, soil, land, water. His priorities are different. I remember a story, just to share with you. There was a Japanese collaboration on rice, and the Japanese scientists came to India giving some seeds to the farmer. As expected, the yield increased multifold. The crop was outstanding, and the farmer was expected to get maybe 10 times of the yield and 10 times of the profit that he used to get earlier. So they thought of arranging a very big function, felicitating him and then requesting him to share his experiences. So when the fellow went to the stage and he held the mic, he said, "I'm extremely happy about the variety, I'm extremely happy about the crop. It's going to give me a lot of money than what I used to get earlier. But next year I'm not going to sow this variety." So the entire tempo changed and everybody was shocked. And they said, why? Because he said, in our community, it is a belief that if I am to marry my daughter, the boy who is going to come to my home to see the girl will see the length of the straw of the paddy with which I have done my roof. So I cannot take this variety next year, I have to. So what I'm trying to tell you over here is, his priorities are different, his choices are different. It's just not the productivity, it's not just the money that he is going to get. And above all, the variety of the inputs that he is using, his purchasing power, his land, water, extremely makes it extremely difficult to customize the information that would be relevant to him, the applicability point of him. Again, the other thing, as we all know, that we keep on saying that 65% of our population, Indian population, is in agriculture. And then to meet the demands and the needs of information for these 65% of population, who are again into so very diverse enterprise, over a very large demographic area, over a very large area scattered, becomes very difficult. We all are aware about the difficulties in reaching the rural remote places, wherein only the film talked of some 1.3% teledensity. So when even the telephones haven't reached, even the roads haven't been there's no electricity. So how can one expect of the connectivity and the other aspects? We are blessed by so many regional languages and dialects. But when it comes to the ICT point, of course, CDAC has done a lot of efforts by coming up with several softwares in the regional languages. But then sharing the information, exchanging the information all over the world around becomes very difficult for the farmers who are either half literate or illiterate. Now, to use these ICT media, not necessarily internet but any other, I mean, we were on a group and a farmer member on the board said that even TVs are of no use to us for information. At times when it pours, we need to carry our milk on our heads to the market because the entire roads are underwater. So the only source of information at that time is radio. And therefore, their purchasing power to go for computers and other sophisticated devices is another important challenge, so to say. There are efforts. Of course, there are 3 people on the dais, and there could be many more who are working for farmers so that they get the information right at their doorstep at the time when they need, before their crop is lost. But these are scattered efforts. I mean, everybody is doing some work or the other in their own areas. And there needs to be some convergence, some coming together so that the strengths can be shared in the benefit of the farming community. Above all, the farmers are not even aware of these efforts being made, many of the farmers. Where every party who's working for that, they are making every attempt to reach as many farmers as possible, but as we said, talking to 65 crores, they are still unaware and still in disbelief that somebody sitting at 200 kilometers from my field could solve my problem on computer without without looking at my field, without visiting my field. So there also we need a lot of promotion and awareness creation. There is plenty of information, plenty in the books, lot of research. It is said that only 16% of the research done in agricultural universities go to the fields of the farmers. Now, whatever may be the reason, there's plenty of research, plenty of information, but to share for mass media, to share it on tools like internet, there is very little as compared to the entire lot available. Is very little in the digitized form. Again, a lot in the textual form, a lot in English. What is needed is more of graphical presentation, analytical way of presentation, decision support kind of information, which would help the farmer to get what he wants easily and relevant to his own areas of demand. Even the literate farmers do have some phobia of using computers, and even if the computers are coming in the houses of big grape growers, and it's mainly for their kids, and they are not very much acquainted with using these technologies for gathering the information. So from that angle also, many of the farmers recently in IIT Mumbai, we were discussing that many of the farmers have very sophisticated mobile phones. They are the exporters of grapes and pomegranates, but still do not know the latest services available in that particular mobile phone, which they can very well use for getting the information. But they are not aware of it. So such trainings, promoting the trainings for farmers in ICT use for agriculture is what is needed. Now there are several possibilities. I would share a few. There are other speakers who would share the other possibilities also. There are several websites for agricultural information. But in my opinion, now plenty of production technologies have gone to farmers. They are aware how to grow mango, how to grow grape, how to grow X and Y. What they need more is the weather information. Now weather information, not just tomorrow will be cloudy, it will be sunny, it will be this, it's of no use to the farmer. What they need very precise is this much of rainfall is likely to come, and it would be helpful for you to sow this crop or not sow this crop. We read in newspapers that several times farmers do the sowing, and then because of the dry spells, they have to re-sow their crops. So weather-based information and agro-advisory services on that. There are some websites, but again they are mainly, as far as my knowledge goes, they are mainly the foreign websites, US-based websites that are giving these informations. Unfortunately, while running the FM radio for agriculture in Baramati, the first of its kind in Asia, we realized that when the farmers need information on the market rates of the APMCs in the nearby areas, very few APMCs are such who daily update the information on market rates. So finally, even if the ICT tool is there, unless somebody takes it seriously to update the information that would be needed by farmers, because unless that is done, the benefit is not going to be there. Just like the weather forecast, what is more needed is disease forecast. Disease forecast with regards to not only disease forecast, but even the pest attack. If we could correlate, if the scientists could correlate and make the information available to the farmers about what is the weather for last few days and what are the possibilities of disease outbreaks. There have been successful softwares like these, mostly imported softwares, who talk about the probable outbreaks of diseases. There has been a successful attempt by National Research Center on Grapes, who talk about powdery mildew, the possible outbreak of powdery mildew after a particular climatic condition. The best and the most relevant, in my opinion, use of ICT could be to have automated weather stations in several locations, several villages, because most of the villages, as you all aware, in India, we have pockets for mango, pockets for pomegranates, pockets for sugar cane. And therefore, if we could locate these weather stations in villages, various villages, and through GPRS or some other source of information collection, the weather information goes down to a central hub, wherein the hub would analyze the entire weather information and send back the information to farmers about the disease outbreak would be most relevant to farmers. Most of the suicides in Vidarbha region of Maharashtra have taken place because of, probably if they had got, if they were given correct information about the possible outbreak of X and Y pests. Most of the grape growers also, I can share with you that they take sprays just to feel safe, just to feel, contented that yes, my crop is protected, today I have taken a insecticide or fungicide spray. Whether it is needed or not, that kind of guidance must go to them. As I said, several farmers own mobile. It has no more become a luxury but a need today. And therefore, if we could use those devices for sending information, a very handy tip for the farmer, it will be very useful. GIS, I have seen some of the very good maps. For security reasons, they have not been, made available to even the researchers. They talk of the fertility status of the soil, they talk of the groundwater table availability, they talk of the soil slope, several other things. So if this data is available, if this information is available, many of the parties like the ones who are sitting here who are into agro-advisory would be able to give a better advice to farmers rather than. Now in order to reach several people at one time in a cost-effective way, we cannot have so many people in field collecting information and then giving the data. All these ICT interventions are going to be of great use. I'm not aware if yesterday during the poster things how many of you have seen this, but I will just share some of our efforts and attempts over here for wherein we have used this tool for disseminating information and giving the information to farmers. This was a portal that was launched by IIT Mumbai way back in December 2003. It was a tri-party project wherein 2 NGOs were involved. One was both situated in the rural parts of Maharashtra. It's a query redress portal, as the title says, almost all questions answered. Although we say all questions, presently it deals only with the agricultural questions, though we intend to go further on the other areas of questions also. Initially it was designed for Maharashtra, but the present response is so overwhelming that it is reaching 12 states of our country. Farmers from 12 states are using it. Now you would say again that all the questions are in English, so but since they are coming from several parts of our country, they are mainly in English. There are several forums, if you could see on the left hand side of the screen, onto which these questions are posted, and within 48 hours of the question being posted, we commit that the answer would be delivered to the farmer. Presently around more than 5 lakh hits to the portal, and around 3,000 members, registered users of this particular portal. This is how a question and an answer would look, and this particular question was on ginger, and the answer would be sent. Now, on the right hand corner of if you could see here, now even if there is single reply, there are multiple views. So a farmer need not post a question, but just have a look at various questions posted, so that and the answers given, so that he might find a relevant answer to his question. This is how it goes, and several views to every question, around 53 views for this particular question. We have been, since then, since December 2003, we have been thinking on how it can be further useful and relevant to farmers. So this is how a collection of several pests and disease affected plants, photographs of disease and pest affected plants have been collected, again in regional language, and a farmer just has to match the symptoms seen in his particular field with the picture on the screen, and once he clicks it, the picture would open up and give the information to the particular of that particular disease or pest, and also would talk about the measures of control. As you all know, there are several research institutes giving research recommendations on various agricultural commodities. Forget for the farmer, but even for a researcher, even for a scientist, even for an extension worker, to know about the recommendations made by several organizations, one has to go through their websites or through their literature to gather information. A farmer would never be able to, in general, be able to do this, for considering the limitations on access. So this is how the crop recommendation talks of the commodity-wise compilation of recommendations given by several research institutes, and a farmer can choose the crop of his choice, like this talks of groundnut, and can get the information about groundnut. Not the package of practices, not the cultivational package. This is about the latest research recommendations, on that particular commodity. Onto the same portal, we have a keyword browser to just make it easy for farmers to search through or browse through the site. Because giving search facility on the site may not work well, because we are expecting him to spell the word correctly. Whereas if he doesn't do that, he is not going to get any search results. So this particular keyword browser gives him again the choice, easy choice of choosing his commodity of choice and then getting the information on that particular commodity of all the questions that are posted for that particular crop onto the portal. Since IIT Mumbai was behind all this web portal and we were looking after the technological service, the developments were envisaged from both the points. Like this particular admin control tells us about the questions that were posted under every forum and the answers that have been given. Are there any pending threads? What was the time taken for every answer? What was the average response time? How many number of views? How many registered users? Again, as we all know, that language barrier. So onto the site itself, a keyboard is given which would help the farmer to type his Marathi question easily without even knowing the main Marathi keyboard. Every question, just to facilitate every farmer from every corner of our country and even outside to see what has been the interaction on Aqua. Every question, the Department of Languages in IIT Mumbai has been after this, and all the questions are being translated into 3 languages. So all those questions, around 4,000 questions, can be seen by a Hindi reader, by a Marathi reader, as well as an English person. This is how it would look on translation. These are the various states which are accessing Aqua for present for their own questions. When we began, uh, many people questioned, will farmers use it? Do they have access to internet? Do they have access to computers? Would they really believe that somebody sitting far off is going to send the answers for them? Well, lot of efforts have gone into it, but this particular statistics indicates that yes, still there are people who are highly educated but still want to get involved in farming, would want to get into agriculture other than the traditional farmers, and that's how these questions have been there. These are the activity track of the users, online users, and for what have they been doing, just for the administrators to know, and this is how we keep getting feedback. Now this is one thing which lacks in every section, may it be government, may it be any other section, that people do not give adequate feedback. But whatever feedback, now this particular story I will share with you. A boy who stays in rural parts of Baramati, about 40 kilometers from our place, visits Aqua, posts a question about quail farming. Quail is a totally new area. Not much research has gone into it, and an answer goes to him within 2 days. He pursues it, takes up the activity, uses his backyard, does not invest more than 25,000, brings about 2,000 quail birds from Bombay, and gets around 10,000 in 60 days of bringing the chicks. So that's how it could work well for those who really wish to take the matter forward. The disease forecasting stations and the weather recorders, I was talking to you in early part of the presentation, these are the weather recorders. They can be placed in fields. Every 3 days they are brought, the information can be downloaded, and through SMS we are sending information to the farmers, about 900 registered users. We also ran FM community radio entirely for agriculture for 1 year. It was a pilot project by World Bank. It could be heard in 30 kilometers from Baramati proper, and good response. But then again, certain government policies are such that we are not permitted to make revenue out of the community radios, and therefore the sustainability is questioned. If there is no revenue, how can a community radio work longer for farmers? So that was another thing. Now, just to share a few lines with you, and that we need to promote. There is for sure, with these experiences, with the success of ESABU, with the experiences of Dawn Foundation and several other people in this particular area, there is an indication that yes, this is going to work. This will work provided we know what they want, what are their constraints, what are their limitations, and we think on how these limitations can be overcome. Now, if individual farmers are unable to purchase their own computers, particularly in remote places, what we have done is we have promoted farmer groups, and I am very happy to share with you that out of the 73 groups that we are operating with, 10% of the groups now have their own computers in their own villages. So they are not waiting for some CSC to come get installed in their villages, because so many villages would need such facility. But not waiting for any outsider to come and then give the facility, but they have come forward, taken the benefit of the government schemes, contributed in money in the form of cash, and brought the required tool, the equipments. But we need to strengthen with regards to training, with regards to using that particular equipment for getting the information. Market information centers, I have already talked, a very bad experience about certain APMCs not letting the information on. Kisan call centers, though the utility has been talked in a positive and a negative way, both ways, but still we could have plenty of such call centers which would be accessible to farmers in case of difficulties. The agricultural graduates, a lot of them getting into passing out every year and getting in field, they could be trained and strengthened and promoted to give agro advisories with infrastructures. And the first attempt of FM radio in Baramati should not be the only one for as a showcase, but it should go in several places of our country so that farmers get the benefit of. Thank you so much. This is what I wanted to share with you about. I must not have covered the entire aspect, but the later speakers would bring in more facets and bring in more interventions. If you have any questions or anything to share, you are most welcome for that. Thank you. Now, maybe we'll request Mr. P. Premanand.
Excuse me?
Yes, please.
I just had a question about this. You said something about the APMCs not allowing market information. I didn't understand that.
APMC is Agricultural Produce Marketing Committee.
And they didn't allow market information?
No, it's not. Every day the market takes place and the prices need to be displayed, you know. So the farmers would be able to decide that if for his particular commodity, if what are the various APMCs that are offering the rates. So he can take a decision that whether I need to send my produce to X village or to the other place. So that is the present difficulty.
I would like to share one thing. There is one KVK Nandurbar is there in Maharashtra. They are working on a small device which will work on a telephone line for the agro counseling, and they have set up the one ISDN line in the Nandurbar headquarter. At every village place, they are putting a small device which will work on a solar itself, and it is connected to the telephone. And at a particular time, what type of information they are supposed, it is distributed all over the area, and they are ringing from their center. So it is not to be required that to spend the money on the call also. And the only thing is that once the call is received, you can just pick up the receiver and make a particular button is on. Automatically it will be that advisor. And second important thing, yesterday also we are talking about localization of content. It is, they have recorded all the messages in all different tribal languages, like in Konkani or Pawara or whatever it may be. They are working on that, and they are supposed to install all those things because it's KVK Nandurbar is also working on that.
I'm aware of their efforts and they're doing very good job. And the IVR is the interactive voice respondents. It's going to be very useful in longer run for farmers, particularly at call centers if such information. Now since we have been so acquainted with it for the railways and the other system, same thing can be done for agriculture also.
Yeah, I have one question. My name is Venkatesh. What I wanted to know is, see again we are talking of the advisories coming from experts and to the farmers. Two issues involved here again, because the one that I saw here, I could see quite a lot of farmers. I mean, just a glimpse. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're very precise in what using the codes, the names of maybe fertilizer or pesticide. We are talking of a different set of farmers. Yeah, if you're talking of farmers who are not that thing, then how does the advisory work? Is first question. My second question is, in what form does the advisory come? Whether it comes in the expert language or is it in the lunar calendar? Because when you go back to village, you don't understand when they say monsoon. You need to be very specific. Every rain has its own local name. Every season has its local name. So how does the advisory come back to the farmers for for referrals?
Very, very relevant question, in fact. I mean, the advisory has to be in farmers' language, otherwise, it will be of no use. We also realized in the initial years that it was the farmers' language, but the inputs that we had recommended at times were not available at the remote places. So we had to keep in mind those inputs which would be very easily available to every farmer in every corner of our state or every corner of our country. Now, at times it may happen that for a farmer from Gujarat, trying to understand what he really wants to say out of his question becomes very difficult. And then giving advice, now as you have seen, even the eSagu attempt has the facility of attaching pictures and diagnosing on the basis of the pictures. So wherever farmers do that, it becomes very easy to give the advice, because we could see something, what problem he is facing in the field. But when it is just a descriptive kind of question, either we ask him to give further information that would be helpful to us, or based on the information that we have got, we try to give him the advice that would solve his problem. But as long as we are not, as long as we are convinced, only then we give the advice or we ask for additional information. We also thought of having, that every farmer while posting a question would need to give certain points. But then we all are aware that wizards are very boring, and we don't want to fill this and then this and then this and then post a question. So we wanted to make it very easy for him. Of course, we knew that these problems are going to come. But we are using, like, we won't say 100 kg of nitrogen. We will say that X kg of a fertilizer. So that kind of farmer language we are trying to use.
I just wanted to share one thing and one more question I had. If you are looking at the present trend, there's been a lot, Maharashtra especially, there is a lot of practice. The practice has been changing by a lot of farmers, because the Subhash Palekar method of agriculture has been one thing that has made all agricultural scientists and everybody really look back at the redressal mechanism or the agriculture system that they are promoting. That's one issue. How is it being taken up? It's just out of the context, maybe.
Well, I mean, it's everybody's choice which system of cultivation to follow, and everything that is talked about will be questioned by a few people and will be followed by a few people. So, as you rightly said, there's a lot of talk on that. It is fact that organic is scientific. I mean, there is nothing unscientific in that. But what is more important is to be integrated rather than just being chemical or organic. So we, in our center, we are trying to promote integration rather than just being organic or just being, because there is a niche market, but there is Indian market which needs a lot of production. So rather than looking at the higher ups.
Just going back to addressing this, a lot of farmers in my place in Mysore are gradually shifting over to Subhash Palekar method. The whole point is, again, the idea is not they have organic and then they export it or anything. It is the actual, the whole bottom line of Palekar method is zero investment. So
Yes.
the actual cost of the produce doesn't vary from the other
Yes.
non-organic produce. That's one issue.
Yes.
Quick question, one more. I mean, information that I thought I will share with you. There are a couple of experiments that's happening in northern Karnataka, where some organization is using rain gauge systems. This is basically a governance issue again, that some of the villages get rain, some neighboring villages don't get rain, but then the state declares drought and relief programs based on the rain. So that organization has installed a small equipment as a rain gauge system, which would cost not more than 5,000-6,000 rupees. And there is a SMS technology that actually records each and every rain and sends the SMS to the ISRO, whichever the organization line up, and then the redressal comes back in the lunar calendar. That's a local system. So this is something that we could look at in this context. Thank you.
Thank you.